Well, good morning, and what a way to welcome you to the Saturday editions of the Freedom News Archive, a magazine program that comes your way every Saturday from 5:30 to 6:30 and 7:30 a.m. every Saturdays. And I'm your presenter this morning, Benjamin Quay Johnson. On today's editions, story coming your way on today's editions, President George, we are doing the week address world leader for the fifth times at the UN at the 77th United Nations General Assemblies in New York. During the week, the Liberia Institute for Statistics and Geoinformation Service with technical support from UNFPA held an engagement workshop with editors and stakeholders in the media sector. As the governor of Liberia, through the Ministry of Education during the week, distribute learning material to public schools across the country. Stick with us as we come back. We go through the details of the stories that make the headline during the week. Thank you for rejoining us. President George, we are doing the week addressed world leaders at the 77th United Nations General Assembly in New York. Addressing the address of the president marked his fifth to the August body since his ascendancy to the Liberian presidencies in 2018. Our reporter Jeff Jefferson followed the address and filed this report during the week. Here is Jeff Jefferson.
On his fifth address of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, the Liberian leader who spoke excellently on Thursday presented the plight of the Liberian people to that August body while outlining progress of his administration and firmly addressing other global issues. Amongst the many things the Liberian leader addressed was the growth of democracy in Liberia after many years of civil upheaval, indicating that Liberia is becoming a stronghold of peace and a safe haven for democracy.
Democracy in Liberia continues to grow from strength to strength. After many years of civil upheaval, Liberia is becoming a stronghold for peace and a safe haven for democracy. This is because we have taken actions in the last few years to build and strengthen democratic institutions such as the press and the Liberian judiciary. We have put forward new legislation that empower the media while eradicating those that have tended to suppress free speech.
The Liberian leader also disclosed that Liberia is expected to hold presidential and legislative elections in October 2023, noting that the forthcoming elections will be crucial to consolidating Liberia's democracy as he underscored his government's unwavering commitment to ensuring that the enabling environment continues to exist for the conduct of a peaceful, free, fair, transparent, and inclusive elections, in keeping with his commitment to ensure that the democratic will of the Liberian people is respected at all times.
Liberia is expected to hold presidential and legislative elections in October 2023. The forthcoming election will be crucial to consolidating our democracy. In this regard, I wish to underscore my government's unwavering commitment to ensuring that the enabling environment continues to exist for the conduct of peaceful, free, fair, transparent, and inclusive elections. This is in keeping with my commitment to ensure that the democratic will of the Liberian people is respected at all times.
President Weah at the same time emphasized that in the run-up to the 2023 elections, it is incumbent upon all prospective candidates to avoid the incitement of violence and any other behavior that could deprive the Liberian people of the peaceful space that they need to freely exercise their franchise and freely express their political will in choosing their leaders.
In the run-up to the 2023 elections, it is incumbent upon all prospective candidates to avoid the incitement of violence and any other behavior that could deprive the Liberian people of the peaceful space that they need to freely exercise their franchise and freely express their political will in choosing their leaders. We must let the people decide, and then we must respect their decision. This is indeed the true essence of democracy.
In another development, President Weah said his government continued to take actions through the formulation of new policy frameworks and strategic interventions to address the impacts of climate change and protect the environment.
My government continues to take actions through the formulations of new policy frameworks and strategic interventions to address the impacts of climate change and protect the environment. Liberia commits to achieving the target of 64% reduction in carbon emissions below business as usual by 2030. We anticipate that the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Egypt, COP27, will provide the opportunity to accelerate actions towards the goal of the Paris Agreement and the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change.
The Liberian leader also mentioned the International Monetary Fund appraisal of Liberia's economic recovery programs as a result of efforts instituting new policy measures to fight the graft, along with the government's adherence to prudent fiscal management.
I am pleased to report that the IMF latest appraisal of the ongoing program it has with Liberia is very positive. It shows that inflation rates have been significantly reduced. There are now better prospects for economic growth compared to previous years in spite of the negative effects of COVID-19. Our efforts at instituting new policy measures to fight droughts were also particularly commended in the report, along with our adherence to prudent fiscal management.
Addressing other global issues, President Weah described the Ukrainian war as an unwarranted military incursion being induced by the people of Ukraine, with the rest of the world feeling the harsh consequences of the economic downturn caused by disruptions in global supply chains, food insecurity, and rising prices of basic goods and services.
We continue to face the challenges of the war in Ukraine. Just as the Ukrainian people are enduring the harsh impact of this unwarranted military incursion, the rest of the world is feeling the harsh consequences of economic downturn caused by disruption in global supply chain, food insecurity, and rising prices of basic goods and services.
With such a powerful address that received a huge applause from world leaders, President George Weah has once again silenced his critics and those who wished that he performed dismally. Reporting for Freedom News on the United Nations General Assembly, I'm Jeff Jefferson.
He's our executive mansion spirit chief reporting during the week and the United Nations 77 General Assemblies in New York. Post and Telecom Ministers Considered copyrigh had disclosed that with a period of 6 months, the ministries is expected to launch the Postal Financial Service and the Liberian National Digital Post Address Systems. Speaking at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism during the week in Monrovia, Councillor copyrigh says the Post Financial Service will address the issues of financial inclusion for citizens at various local locations, while the National Digital Postal Address Systems will make the delivery of mail to home, business, and government offices. There is Councillor copyrigh speaking during the week.
The ministry will be launching 2 major projects: the Postal Financial Services and the Liberian National Digital Postal Address System. Postal Financial Services will address the issue of financial inclusion for our people at various locations, while the National Digital Address System will make the delivery of mails to homes, businesses, and government offices easier. These 2 projects were necessitated by a mandate of the organ of the United Nations that Liberia is the founding member, the Universal Postal Union, UPU, and the International Telecommunication Union, ITU. The focus of the ministry is to build a resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation through access to connectivity and internet service, and improve access to reliable and affordable postal delivery system to every citizen as a basic human rights. Yeah. The Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications is obliged to provide affordable and accessible postal and telecommunication services through the creation of an environment to foster growth in the sector. Over the years, the ministry has experienced enormous challenges in meeting the expectations of the public due to low priorities of the ministry program and project. However, considering the new policy agenda of the government, the need for the ministry to be proactive in addressing the needs of the public cannot be overemphasized. The ministry intends to rekindle the public confidence by enhancing the quality of mail delivery services and the implementation of ICT programs that will save costs and create knowledge-based society in the short and long run. Building on the gains made by the past administration and filling the gap that existed in the implementation of ICT and postal program, the current administration has developed a deliverable plan that will have a positive influence on citizenry upon completion. Programs and our projects highlighted in this document are aligned with the National Development Agenda, PROCO Agenda, the International Telecommunication Union, and the Universal Postal Union requirements for sector growth and the Sustainable Development Goal. The Postal Administration, through a postal expansion program, will create linkages between citizens of our urban and rural communities. The enhancement of domestic mail delivery services will provide the public an opportunity to convey items to relatives and friends living in areas where postal facilities are constructed around the country. We also wish to inform the public that the government new brochure access program, which is chaired by this ministry and implemented by the Liberia Telecommunication Authority, is making significant impact in those areas where we have built infrastructure to create the opportunity for our unserved and underserved population to have access to telecommunication. Up to date, we have constructed 6 towers in 5 counties, 2 in Vancouver, 1 in Lakeport, 1 in Bond County, 1 in Bapolu, and 1 in Grand Bass, and 2 ongoing construction, 1 in Maryland and the other in Bowman County. In the next 6 months, we will be able to take the number to 15. At that time, we'll be approaching the dry season and we'll experience stronger.
His Post and Telecommunications Ministers, Councillor copyrigh, speaking during the week at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism in Monrovia. Let now play you songs, Liberian songs. This is the beauty of the show. I play you this one from Princess Fatu Gifla. Call his Good morning, wherever you are. If you are just joining us, this is Freedom News Archive. I'm Benjamin Quay Johnson presenting this Saturday, September 24 editions of the magazine programs on Freedom 87.9. So we're going to play you the one that's more. I want to play you this one that's more. Yes. Yes. This is from Grand Basses County, African Soldier. He calls it one Dabby. Fumble you find you get wide way. This is Freedom News Archive. Welcome wherever you are. If you are following us through our Facebook page, we'd like to say good morning and welcome. Or via the radio on the assigned frequencies of 87.9, we'd like to say good morning and welcome. This is your program, Freedom News Archive, a magazine program that comes here with every Saturdays on this radio. Dabi, Dabapola, Ayo, Dabi, Ayo, Dabi, Ayo, Dabi, Dabapola, Ayo, Dabi, Mama Jivan, Gawawe, Ayo, Dabi, Mama Jivan, Gatawe, Ayo, Dabi, Mama Jivan, Gatawe, Ayo, Dabi, you love it to my friend, you want lot to me, Ayo, Dabi, Dabi, Dabi Pola, Ayo, Dabi, get away. Get away, don't get away, nowhere, don't get away, don't get away, don't get away, don't get away, don't find a play. Swah! I don't know. African soldier. He caused the one Derby. Hey, Jared Murray, good morning, my brother and friend. What about Thomas Kojo Ruda? One of Liberia's best poll reporter. Good morning, brother. Let's bring it one down and go straight to our development. Police Inspector General Patrick Sudut during the week lauded the United Nations for its continued support to the security sectors of the country, especially the Liberian National Police. Speaking at the press conference in Monrovia at the headquarters of the Liberian National Police, police spokesman Musikato says the police IGs appreciate the UN for affording the Liberian National Police the fresh chance to speak at the United Nations Chief of Police Summit here at the United Nations headquarters in New York on the theme Fostering Sustainable Peace and Development through United Nations Policing. Here is Moses Carter speaking during the week. Moses Carter.
As Jordan Samuel with the crimes.
This is not the woman in yes.
The Liberian National Police has launched investigation.
No. Where's this one? Okay. Yeah.
And gentlemen of the press. Yes. Liberia's Inspector General Police, Patrick Sudut, has again made Liberia very proud with his representation at the United Nations Chiefs of Police Summit. In his presentation, RG Sudut used the occasion to appreciate the United Nations for its continued support to nurturing the peace and stability of Liberia. He informed the UN of the huge achievements made by the Liberian National Police since being afforded the opportunity to commit officers to the United Nations peacekeeping mission. The Liberian National Police has a total of 7 officers deployed in UN peacekeeping mission with 25% female representation. RG Sudut at the UN summit also expressed commitment of his administration in ensuring that the United Nations headquarters SAT team request of 25% females for deployment on UN mission is adhered to, while at the same time pleading to the United Nations to support female capacity building so as to enable them get ready for UN operations, peacekeeping operations. He boasted of the excellent performances of officers that have already been deployed on UN peacekeeping mission, which is bringing pride to Liberia as a post-conflict nation. Interestingly, members of the press and the public, this is the first time in the history of Liberia that the Inspector General Police was given the opportunity to speak at such a summit. This is the beginning of a turning point in the history of the Liberia National Police.
In another development, the Liberian National Police launched an investigation into a video cutting barrage of informations that bordered on national security, invoking terrorist group operating in Liberia. Here is Moses Carter for the second time speaking at his press conference in Monrovia.
Distinguished members of the press, the Liberian National Police has launched investigation into two videos invoking terror groups' operation in Liberia, which went viral, containing a barrage of information that border on national security. LMP wishes to use this press briefing to appreciate the timely response of the international community through the European Union to the video, which posed serious security threats to our national security. Hence, the Liberia National Police and the National Security Agency, NSA, has already begun joint investigation into establishing the authenticity as well as making sure that those who bear responsibility for said videos are made to face the full weight of the law. While said investigations are ongoing, the public can be assured that the Liberia National Police and other joint security institutions, along with the armed forces of Liberia, leave no stone unturned in jealously protecting the peace and stability of our dear country, Liberia. Liberia, as a post-conflict nation, has experienced a lot of devastation and is never, and I underscore, never prepared to resort to its ugly days of war. As such, every citizen of Liberia and the residents of Liberia are urged to support peace and condemn anything that seeks to return our country to its ugly past. Be aware of the implications of conducting peaceful elections, and that if elections are not peaceful, the consequences that those threats will pose to the citizens and residents of this country. It is with this that we urge all actors, be it political, religious, or social actors, to ensure that whatever that is posted conforms to promoting the peace and stability of the state, other than resorting this country to its ugly past. And I can assure you, members of the press and the public, that this joint security remains very robust, remains in charge of security, and anyone who attempts to undermine the peace of our country will be met with stiff resistance, and that we will do everything possible in our role to ensure that this country does not resort to its ugly past.
At the same time, the LMP also forwarded to court a 24-year-old resident of Logantown community identified as Jordan Siba with criminal comparisons, armed robbery, aggravated assault, and theft of property, among others. Here is Moses Carter for the third time.
Liberia National Police has forwarded to court a 24-year-old resident of Logantown, identified as Jordan Sagbe, with the crimes criminal conspiracy, armed robbery, aggravated assault, and theft of property in violation of the revised Penal Code of the Republic of Liberia. During police preliminary investigation, it was established that victim Abenigo Toh was attacked on July 12, 2022 on Logantown Broad Street by the suspect forwarded to court and his accomplices, who were armed with cutlasses, scissors, injuring the victim on his left shoulder and his face, taking away with a blue Techno Camel 16 and 200 United States dollars. Suspect Siba Abba has been forwarded to court and is currently remanded at the Monrovia Central Prison in pre-trial detention. Meanwhile, a 22-year-old suspect identified as Ted, alias Taka Polo, a resident of Supermarket Community, has also been arrested. Investigation apprehended and subsequently charged with the crime possession and sale of physical objects.
His police spokesman Moses Carter speaking during the week at the National Police Headquarters in Monrovia. Let's play you this songs this morning from Friday the 7th month.
Yes. You marry, you can get a picky chance. You can be a reticle for your own. When a picky girl, you will take it. When a young girl also, you will check it. You just be a reticle for your own. Papa play alone. Dog man and we are play alone. Big Papa play alone, man. I said Pressy play alone, man. Mason Hunter play alone, man. Skitty Qua play alone.
Let's recognize those that follow us fair at our Facebook page this morning.
My oh man,
Taras Lua,
worry your rescue team.
he following us from all the way Tapeta, Nima County.
Company that they call cell phone.
He said, good morning, Freedom to Radio. Good morning, Benjamin.
Yo, go Yesu.
I'm following you from Tapeta, Nima County.
They say they go out of town, you see them eye.
Good morning, my brother, the friend.
So they come to the hall, they pack their briefcase, go run to the door, let them go back out of town.
James Kakula.
What in the away? They see.
It's James John Kakula. He also following us from the US of A. Good morning, brother.
Martin Brown play alone, man.
His pay Patrick.
Alone, man. Patrick Oka play alone.
Also watching it from Nima County.
Lucky Putini play alone.
Hey, the people of Nima, watch out, PUL.
Play alone,
The president of Liberia is coming to ball or celebrate his birthday or his anniversary in San Quentin, Nima County, from the 27th to the 30th of September. So you can watch out for the president of Liberia. We're going to lock down the entire San Quentin city. Shetrai November Canicula. Also watching up from Finville City, and that is in Moserado County. The biggest city in Moserado County is Finville City, right? So good morning, Freedom Family. Also, good morning to you, my brother. Austin Tappet is watching us too. Fidesco Moses. Venetia Genius Bar. Marco Nitor. Davison Car. Lyra's Gibson. That is Louis Gibson, yeah. Marcus Nathan for the second time. He's also watching over Pinville City, Monrovia. White Davidson is fighting off on Bannerville. he fathered a settlement, contributing his effort on the show this morning. Let's bring this song down and go straight to our development. Two of the indictees of ex-officials of the Liberia National Red Cross Society request for separate trial have been overturned at the Supreme Court. Earlier, George Blamo Dixon granted Emmanuel Kipa, ex-president of Red Cross, and Sekou Kamara, ex-financial officers, requested separate litigations for their colleagues after they were indicted for alleged stealing over $70,000 from the institution. The amount was intended to fight the Ebola epidemic in 2014 during the administration of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The presiding judge, Justice Nchimba at the Supreme Court, according to our judicial correspondent, had instructed Judge Dixon to resign his decisions and try all the indictees together following her legal conference with the parties. Our judicial correspondent says Associate Justice James Eto Wodokoli legal actions was triggered by a petition for a writ of category filed by Red Cross lawyer, Liberia Red Cross Society lawyer Lawrence Yakula to the High Court to correct Judge Dixon's ruling. The RNC officials have since filed a very bond criminal appearance which prevented their imprisonment at the Monrovia Central Prison. They were indicted for multiple offenses ranging from economic sabotage, misapplications of trusted property, theft of property, among others. The Supreme Court has confirmed and reaffirmed the subordinate court verdict against GT Bank Liberia Limited that favored ex-GT Bank official employee Edward Freeman with a reward of $100,000. The court during the week awarded Freeman with $100,000 after he was assaulted by GT Bank managing director Harry Benny. That resulted into actions of damage against the bank. Initially, the subordinate court awarded Freeman with $250,000 reduced regarding the bank against his amount. Our judicial correspondence further that the High Court clerk Councillor Samuel Momolu has instructed to send the judgment down to the subordinate court to give effect to the decision consistent with law. It can be recalled on August 18, 2018, GT Bank ex-managing director budgeted through a calculator on employee Freeman that led him sustaining wound and bleeding several times, which resulted him taking a legal action against the bank. Let's play you most Liberian songs as we go close to the end of our show. Let's play you this one quickly. Sephon. Yes.
keep on trying to make my people just so fun good tomorrow. When I went up on street, my people, I want to go and I got to give it about my people, I want to be church. I want to convert my people, I want to hear the ear. When I want to relent my people, I get from my city. I want to set the street, my people, I want to run the street. When I want to relent my people, I want to all us shadow. I want to see it about my people, I need to do alarm. I need to put the island, my people, I want to cross it. I want to man of it, my people, I want money. I asked for honey, she told me her name is Tracy. I got money.
Yes, that plays you this one. We are going to Grand Jida this morning with this one. Yes. Yes, yes, yeah.
Kirabasa, remix. Rajya yo papa papa. Amakeyo. Tineto Kechiwe, National Secretary.
His DK Jefferson Yangwe. This show is meant to play Liberian songs, right? Or Liberian songs, especially traditional songs. Hey, good morning, my brother and friend, Kai G. It's Michael Newton. Thank you so much for your appreciation. My brother and friend Rana Chapui, the father from EWA Junction. Good morning, brother. Hey, Patrick Blama. Hey, Milton Miller. Good morning. Thank you for following us this morning. Senator Zoe Emmanuel Pena and Marsha Denny. Here we come in Grand Jida County this morning. This is Freedom News Archive. Ali Suare, good morning. Ali Suare watching us from 24th Street. Emmanuel Chapoy. People are Benin Chapoy. David C. Colley watching from Omega Community, Pinsville City. Hey, my brother and friend, Emmanuel Nangwe, all the way there in Grangida County, Georgia City. Thank you this morning, brother, for following us. This is Liberia #1 radio. Joe A. Tuba. Washington for LY Community. LY Junction. Let me say good morning to RAL incoming president Willie N. Tuba. And the incoming president of Liberia, Mr. Julius Kontu. Julius Konuba. Not forgetting my brother and friend, Tasha Murphy. He's my twin brother, right? My brother, when it comes to trouble, don't put my knee there. Hey, Aaron Taru. Mr. John Kiss is also watching us. Let's bring this on down and go strictly to our development. The Liberia Institute for Statistics and Geoinformation Service, with technical support from UNFPA, is soliciting support from media in propagating enumerations activities as the institution gear up to conduct the 50 national population census through digital technology. Latest during the week held an engagement with editors and stakeholders in the media to build and strengthen their capacity for statistic news reporting and awareness about the enumeration process. Speaking during the engagement, Latest Deputy Director General for Information and Coordination, Wilman Smith, noted that the upcoming census is a national endeavor. As such, it is incumbent upon all Liberians to support the process, since it is the first digital surveys on the way. Here is Director Wilman Smith speaking during the week in Monrovia.
Here, practitioners from across the landscape here today to have a conversation with us on the way forward in terms of disseminating and creating massive public awareness with respect to the census within the next 36 days. And I'd like to use the occasion to also inform you that that we are running, and we will be extending that to the media, journalists, in order to be able to report statistical, data you got protocol that you understand what content is for the public and how it should be conveyed to the public. As you know, the Liberia government through David and the technical support from the United Nations Population Fund is about to conduct the fifth national population and housing census using digital technology. For the first time in our country, history will be conducted at Liberia for digital census. Enumeration, that is the count happening from October 24 to November 7. Census is a national endeavor. As such, all Liberians should support the process in whatever we understanding of the census project as done by ladies and partners in October 2019. Key activities have been completed to set the stage for the actual count. They include delineating the entire country in the smaller areas referred to as enumeration area for counting purposes. We also conducted a pre-test test all materials such as tablets, questionnaires, methodologies, etc. That will be used for the main enumeration. The 22 National Population and Housing Census is the first digital census to be carried out in the Republic of Liberia. Census will determine the current demographic, social, economic, and cultural characteristics of the population of the provide small area data, create sustainability of data collection and analysis in the future, to strengthen national capacity with the provision of a new master sampling frame for future survey, quality map, and geographic information system. 2022 census will make available general development planning, monitoring, and evaluation tools that will help track progress of Liberia's development agenda, including the proper agenda for prosperity development and sustainable development goals. Population and housing census is among the most complex and massive fiscal exercises in nation can undertake.
However, he noted that the count will determine the current geographical, social, and economic characteristics of the country population by providing smart area data, created sustainability data collections, and analyze the features through strengthening national capacity. Here is Women Smith for the second time.
As a matter of fact, the biggest project in any given country. It requires mapping the entire country, mobilizing a truly large number of enumerators, conducting a public advocacy campaign, canvassing all households, compiling vast amounts of data in paper of electronic forms, and analyzing and disseminating data. At this point, Liberia and her partner, the UNFP, have organized a massive publicity campaign. We started off with the National Stakeholders Engagement Conference on August 26, 2022. Here at the Moreover City Hall. This brought together civil society, political parties, elders, and chiefs, council of churches, teachers association, the Imam Council of Liberia, and set this industry being ladies and her partner UNFPA have organized this forum to update editors of radio, television, and newspapers, and online media on the ongoing 2022 National Population Housing Census project. And to solicit both promulgating and
His latest Deputy Director for Information and Coordinations, Women Smith, speaking at his one-day stakeholders and media engagement workshop held at the Better Casas Hotel in Singat, Monrovia during the week. Well, folks, with this one, this is how we like to count down to the end of the edition of Freedom's News Archive, the Saturday 24th of September editions of the Freedom News Archive. But before we go, I'd like to say good morning to Van Inture, who also is following us, and Arias Nuri, also following us from EAW community. But before we go, we'd like to recap our headlines that will follow closest during the start of the program. President George Weah during the week addressed world leaders for the fifth time at the 77 United Nations General Assemblies in New York. During the week, Liberia Institute for Statistics and Geoinformation Services, with technical support from UNFPA, held engagement workshop with editors and stakeholders in the Liberian media. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Education, during the week distributes learning material to public schools across the country. on today's edition. My name is Benjamin Quay Johnson. Bye bye for now.